on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This episode we are working on my wife's 2023 Honda Accord, and I'm going to show you how to change your CVT automatic transmission fluid. We're going to do a drain and fill. It's actually really simple. This car has 50,000 miles on it now, and it has not been done. We bought this car brand new, so it's time to just go ahead and change out that fluid. You're going to want to use an actual Honda transmission fluid. The HCF-2 is what they call for on this. Holds, they recommend 3.9 quarts in the manual is what they're calling for. So we'll go ahead and get the hood up on this. We're going to pull the fill plug, and then we'll get underneath this thing, and I'll start showing you how to open it all up and get that fluid out of there, get some new stuff in, get you back out on the road. Coming in from the front, I'm going to show you where the fill plug is. It's right down here. You can see that kind of white cap. It says Honda HCF-2. That's your transmission fluid. So this plug just actually pulls right out, no problem. And you can see it has this little arm on here, little handle. They say they want that facing towards the front of the vehicle for some reason. I'm not real sure why, but we'll do it. You can see there's a little bit of debris on the little debris. So we'll clean that off real quick. And I'm going to leave this out so that it'll help vent that transmission whenever we're draining it, and you won't get the blip, 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 blip. It'll just drain out real nice. So let's get this cleaned up real quick. We'll get this in the air, and I'll show you what to do next. Now, you do not need a lift to do this job, but it helps a lot. If you're doing it on your back with a jack, make sure you use jack stands because you want to stay safe, because if that jack fails, the car will crush you, and that is not good. So now that we're under the car, you're going to see a pan that looks like this. Front of the car is that away, back of the car that away. You've got a couple Phillips head bolts in the front of the pan, a couple Phillips head bolts in the back of the pan, then you got some flat heads on the sides. If you've changed your oil before, you're familiar with this pan. So we're going to go ahead and bring this pan down real quick. And these flat heads are just quarter turns, so you'll turn them a quarter. You can see you got these little pegs on them, and they'll just drop right out of there for you. So let me get this pan down real quick, and we'll move on to the next step. I just use my drill for these Phillips ones. They're just regular screws. They are not the quarter turn variety. So this is the last one right here. Take this one out. Pan should stay up there if it was installed correctly, even though all the bolts are out. You've got a couple clips here on the back. So this pan, it slides into this plastic in the front, and it slides into these clips in the back. So you're going to want to slide the pan aft to get it to unlock. Once it does, just drops down like that right there. So now that pan's out of the way, we can get access to everything that we need. Our transmission is right here, and our drain plug is right here. If you've changed your oil before, here's your oil pan and your oil drain plug. So in relation, that's where it is from your oil drain plug. So here's the transmission and transmission drain. It's on the driver's side. I'll get you a close-up. Come on in here. So here's what we're looking at. This is your transmission pan right here. This is the drain plug. You can see it's just a square. You're wondering, what the heck? What kind of socket is that? It's not a socket. It's a 3/8 inch drive square. So your ratchet, your 3/8 drive ratchet will just go right in the end of this, or you put an extension and your ratchet and you just crack that thing loose, have your drain pan ready. You'll just unscrew this. It'll drain into your pan. There is a crush washer on here that you're going to want to replace. They recommend replacing that every single time. I've gotten away with not replacing them in the past. If you can get one for sure. If not, look at it, clean it, and see what condition it's in. Use your best judgment on that, because you don't want this leaking after you install it, because the only way to change it is drain all your fluid again. So definitely want that leak-free from the very beginning. This bolt up here we will be messing with later. This is your oil fill check bolt. This will show how much fluid and making sure that it is topped off completely, and we'll be visiting that later on. For now, we're going to go ahead and get this fluid drained, and this is the one we're dealing with. All right, so we'll just take our 3/8 ratchet. I'm going to stick it right in the end of that thing. Make sure we're going lefty-loosey. I give it a little couple bumps here, crack it. Now I can do this, just take it out of the way. Slide my drain pan up so we don't have any mishaps. Make sure your pan is a little bit over towards the passenger side, because it's definitely going to shoot out with a little bit of force. Careful with this too, because you're supposed to do this when it is hot. You should drive it around, kind of get it warmed up a little bit, and you don't want to burn yourself. Your exhaust is right here. The fluid's going to be hot, but you want to make sure it's warm so this flows out real nice for you. So there you go. We're draining. The end of your drain plug is also a magnet. So you want to take a look at this drain plug and see what's on there. And I've got definitely some fuzz A little bit of fuzz on there, but that's perfectly normal. Especially, this was a new car, right? This has never been done, so your break-in process and whatnot. You want to look for big chunks of metal because that would be not good. So this looks good. I'll go ahead and clean the end of this up, get all this metal off, get this plug ready to go, and we're going to let this just sit here and drain out till we're either not draining at all or it's a very, very slow drip. So let me just let that sit for now. All right, so I got my drain plug all cleaned up real nice. Got my new crush washer. Slide that on. Looks like a good fit. That's what we're going to use to put this thing back on. We're still draining, so we'll come back to that in another minute. Now she's at a nice slow drip. I'm going to go ahead and swipe that off a little bit. Get my drain plug started. Make sure she's nice and dry so we don't get any false leak indications. And then I'm going to torque it to 36 foot-pounds. Now, if you don't have a torque wrench, just snug it up. But use your best judgment there because you definitely don't want to strip that thing out. But since I have a torque wrench, that's what I'm going to do. So I've got it set to 36. It's a 3/8" drive torque wrench, so it just fits right inside real nice. Take it up, boom, boom, double click it. We're good on that. I'll go ahead and give it one more wipe. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right, we'll go back to the top and top this thing off. So we're back on top and our fill plug is still out from earlier. You're gonna need a nice long funnel like this, usually used for transmissions. They're handy to have around. If you don't have one, make sure you have one before you start this job, or something with a hose so you can go down in there. Here's that Honda genuine transmission fluid, the HCF2, that's what you're gonna want for this. And like I said, the manual calls for 3.9 quarts. So we're gonna put in 3.9, maybe close to 4 quarts. We'll fire this thing up and run it through the gears, and then I'll show you how to check that level. Start dumping some fluid. Second one going in. Just make sure you don't fall out down there at the bottom and dump your expensive transmission fluid all over the place. I probably poured that a little fast. Take your time dumping it in. But we did not spill any yet. That is a good thing. All right, here goes the fourth one. Now there's 946 milliliters in one of these bad units right here. So it calls for 3.9 quarts. So you should have about, what, 94.6, I think, milliliters left in this jug. And that would put you at the 3.9. So around 100 milliliters. And it is on the side here. Highest you can see is 800. The lowest you can see is 200. So going to be down below that. But if it's a little over full, that's going to be okay, because we're going to go down and we're going to pull that bolt down there and we're going to drain it to the exact level that we need. So if you go a little over, don't worry about it. Be all right. Just don't go less, because if you don't have enough in there, well, then you're going to have to add it and go through this whole thing again a little bit, you know. You have to add some in, you have to put that bolt back in, add some in, the whole deal. All right, so we're right there. I'd say about 100 mil. I'm gonna give her a splash more. That should be pretty good. All right, let's get our funnel out of here, try not to make a mess. And install our plug. We have it nice and clean. Like I said, this little lever arm, they want it facing towards the front of the vehicle for some reason. I'm not real sure. I'm just gonna do it. Doesn't seem like it would make a difference, but make sure this is seated all the way in, because if it's not, and this comes out, you're gonna have a real problem. You're gonna get water and dirt and everything else inside your transmission, and it's not gonna like that. So make sure it's seated all the way. All right, that's in nice and tight. So now our fluid's in, our cap's on. We're gonna fire this thing back up. We're gonna go inside and I'm gonna show you something else. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and fire this bad boy up. Let it run for a second there. And next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna have your foot on the brake, and then we're gonna go through each gear, but let it just sit in that gear for probably, I don't know, 5 seconds or so. You want it to just engage. You'll feel it engage the gear. So we'll go into reverse first, hit engage, let it sit for about 5 seconds. That's gonna let that fluid get in all those crevices and everywhere it needs to be for reverse. And we're gonna do that for every single gear: neutral, drive. This one says slow and low, so slow and low. So we're just gonna go down to drive, and I'm gonna go through each one, sit about 5 seconds, and then we're gonna go back the other way, all the way up to park. Get it in park, and we're just gonna go ahead and let it sit there for 5 seconds in park, shut it off, and I'm gonna show you how to check that level. All right, back to park. Now you can probably go test drive this if you want to. That's totally up to you. You could go for just a drive around the neighborhood, let it kind of shift a little bit, shift, CVT. But running it through the gears is really all they recommend. So we're good here. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off. And we're gonna go underneath and check that level. Now it's starting to rain. And I don't know if you can see this up here, but it's currently 100 degrees in the shop. The doors are closed now, and it's raining. So hopefully you can still hear me. So let's get in here and check the level on this. This is gonna get kind of noisy with all this rain in the metal building. So again, here is our drain plug. Here's our oil level check. It's a 12mm socket. I got just a little like 3-inch extension on here. Crack it loose, and you are gonna get oil. You should get oil out of here. Wow, is it raining hard. So have your drain pan ready. There's our oil. And you just want, basically let that drain until it just starts dripping, and then it'll be completely full. This should have this has a little crush washer on it. Replace that if you can. Check it for condition, and stick this back in and torque it. Wow, is it raining? I hope you can hear me. Okay, it slowed down enough that hopefully you can hear me. So it turns out this bolt has an integrated crush washer, so you can't change it, so it's going to be fine. It looks fine. 15 foot-pounds is what they call for on the torque. It looks like it's done draining, so I'm going to go ahead and run this bolt in, wipe it down, get it torqued. My wife's got to use this car in 15 minutes, and I was supposed to mow today, but it is absolutely dumping rain out there, so I don't think we're going to be doing a whole lot of mowing. Let me get this thing torqued real fast. Also, the electric just flickered, so that ain't good. There you go, 15 foot-pounds. Wipe her down real good, make sure don't have no false indications here. And I'm gonna go ahead and get our pan put back on. Remember, when you put this pan on, it's gotta go over the plastic in the front, and then you have these tabs up here that it has to lock into. So slide it over your plastic first, line it up with your tabs right here, and it'll lock into place, should hold itself up. We'll run them bolts in, this thing will be ready to go. All right, last one of these. So that's all tight. All 4 of these flatheads are in. And Phillips are tight. This thing's ready to go. Let's get this thing on the ground. All right, guys, that wraps it up. That's how you change the fluid in a CVT transmission. The old automatic here for the 1.5 turbo, 2023 Honda Accord. Make sure you document it in your maintenance book so that you know what the date was you changed it, what the mileage was, so you can kind of keep up with it when you need to change it again. My wife has to leave in 4 minutes. So this thing got done just in time. If you like the content and you want to see more how-tos and things like that, consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help out. Like the video, share it with your friends. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Man, does it rain a lot. Jeez.